After 5 years of marriage, I dreamed of starting a family. But instead, I discovered a 6-year-old boy calling my husband Daddy. What happened next will leave you speechless. Stay with me until the end. Before we begin this incredible story, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon, so you never miss our powerful and life-changing stories. After 5 years of marriage, he refused to have a child with me, yet a 6-year-old boy calls him Daddy. For 5 long years, I carried a dream close to my heart. A dream of tiny footsteps echoing across our home. A dream of small hands reaching for mine, of laughter filling the air. But each time I whispered about a child, he turned away. His answer was always the same, firm, cold, unchanging. No, not now. I am not ready. I do not want this. At first, I believed him. I told myself he needed time. I told myself love meant patience, but patience slowly turned into emptiness every time I saw mothers holding their babies. A hollow ache opened wider inside me, until one afternoon, when the world around me shattered in an instant. I was walking through the park, the sun casting long golden streaks across the grass. Children ran past me, their laughter ringing like tiny bells in the air, and then I froze, because among them was a boy, no older than 6. His little feet kicked up dust as he ran, his cheeks flushed with joy, and then I heard a single word that pierced me deeper than any blade: Daddy. The boy ran straight into my husband's arms. I stood there, rooted to the ground, the sound echoing in my ears. My chest tightened, my breath caught, and the world spun in blurred colors. He lifted the boy easily, holding him close, smiling in a way I had never seen before, and in that smile, I saw everything: the truth, the betrayal, the secret he had kept from me all these years. My hands trembled, the air around me grew heavy, pressing against my skin. The laughter of children, once so sweet, now roared in my head like cruel mockery. My knees weakened, but I forced myself to stand tall. I clutched my bag tighter, nails digging into the leather, trying to hold myself together. He had refused me. He had denied me, but here he was, allowing another child to call him what I longed to give him: Daddy. But here he was, allowing another child to call him what I longed to give him: Daddy. I turned my face away, afraid someone might see the storm raging inside me. My eyes burned, but I refused to let tears fall in front of them. Every step I took felt like dragging stones tied to my feet. I walked toward them, each breath sharp and unsteady. The boy clung to him, small arms wrapped tightly around his neck, as if he belonged there. And my husband who had always refused my dream, looked down at the child with tenderness, with pride, with a warmth I had begged for but never received. My heart cracked. Who is he? I asked, my voice trembling, barely louder than a whisper. He froze, his smile fading. The boy looked at me with innocent eyes, unaware of the truth that was unraveling. I searched his face for an answer, for anything that could make this moment less cruel, but all I saw was guilt, heavy and undeniable, clouding his expression. His silence cut me deeper than words ever could. My chest tightened, my body shivering despite the warmth of the sun. The world around me, the laughter, the breeze, the golden glow of the afternoon, turned into a blur. All I could hear was the echo of that one word. Daddy. It rang in my ears, again and again, like a cruel reminder of the life I had been denied. I stumbled backward, pressing a hand to my mouth, trying to stop the sob rising in my throat. He reached out, as if to stop me, but I stepped away. No, I whispered, shaking my head, my voice breaking, and with that, I turned and walked away, the sound of my footsteps hollow against the pavement. Behind me, I could still hear the child's laughter. Ahead of me, only silence. When I reached home, the walls felt colder than ever. The house that once carried our laughter now seemed like a hollow shell. I sat on the edge of the couch, clutching my hands together so tightly my knuckles turned white. The silence was unbearable, pressing against my ears, making my heart beat louder. A door creaked open. He walked in slowly, his face pale, his eyes avoiding mine. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand answers, to shake the truth out of him, but when I opened my mouth, only one broken question slipped out: why? He flinched, as if the word had struck him like a blade. For a moment, he said nothing. The ticking clock on the wall filled the room with its sharp rhythm, each second digging deeper into my skin. Finally, he sat across from me, his hands trembling, his lips parted, but his voice faltered before any explanation could escape. The weight of his silence spoke louder than anything he could say. I felt my chest tighten, as if my ribs were cages locking in all the hurt I could not release. My vision blurred as tears welled up, blinding me to the man who once promised me forever. I stared at him, searching for even a flicker of honesty, of remorse, of love. Instead, I saw fear of losing me, fear of admitting the truth, fear of facing the consequences of what he had hidden. My heart ached, torn between the love I had for him and the betrayal that now poisoned it. I whispered again, softer this time, almost pleading, why? His shoulders slumped, as though the weight of my single word was too heavy to bear. He covered his face with his hands, and I could hear the uneven rhythm of his breath. The room smelled faintly of the coffee he had brought in, untouched, turning cold on the table. Finally, his voice broke through the silence. cracked and low, I never wanted to hurt you. The words struck me harder than if he had shouted. I leaned forward, gripping the edge of the couch. My nails digging into the fabric. My chest felt tight, my throat dry. But I forced myself to speak, then explain. The boy who calls you daddy. He froze, his eyes widened. Panic flashing across his face. I knew in that instant, he had no rehearsed excuse. No clever lie prepared. My question had torn straight through whatever walls he had built around his secret. The air between us thickened. Heavy with unspoken truths. Outside, the wind pressed against the windows, rattling them as if the world itself demanded answers. His lips trembled as he finally looked at me. Straight into my eyes. There was fear, there was shame. But there was also something else, something softer. Something I could not name. He swallowed hard and whispered, "It is not what you think." But the tremor in his voice betrayed him. I waited, my heart pounding, knowing that what came next could shatter me completely, or set me free. His words lingered in the air, fragile, almost breaking apart before they reached me. I held my breath, watching his lips part and close again as if the truth itself refused to leave him. The ticking of the wall clock grew louder, each second stretching like an eternity. My palms felt clammy, pressed tightly against my knees. And I could hear the faint thudding of my heartbeat echoing in my ears. He finally dropped his gaze, staring at the floor, his fingers twisting together nervously. "The boy," he whispered, his voice trailing off, as though the word itself burned him. I shifted slightly, the couch creaking under me, demanding the rest of his sentence. He clenched his jaw, exhaled shakily, and then raised his eyes back to mine. "They told him to call me that." My breath caught, the room seemed to shrink, the walls pressing closer, trapping us both in the weight of his confession. "Who told him?" I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. His lips trembled, his hands balled into fists, resting on his knees, and then, in a voice thick with guilt, he said, "His mother." The silence that followed was so deep it roared in my ears. His mother, the words echoed in my mind, cold and sharp, slicing through every memory I had of us together. I leaned back slowly, my breath uneven, my chest rising and falling as if I had just run a long race. He was still staring at me, his eyes heavy with shame, waiting for me to speak, waiting for my judgment, but my tongue felt frozen, trapped between disbelief and anger. I let my gaze drift to the window outside. The evening sky had turned a deep shade of violet, streaked with the last traces of golden light. It should have been beautiful. But instead, it felt like the world was mocking me. I turned back to him, searching his face for answers that his words had not yet given. "Why?" I whispered, my voice breaking like glass. His shoulders slumped, and he pressed his palms to his face, dragging them slowly down as if wiping away years of secrets. "She needed me," he said finally, his voice hoarse. "She was alone, abandoned. And the boy." He paused, struggling for breath, struggling for courage. "The boy was never supposed to know me this way." My heart thudded painfully against my ribs. Louder, faster. I felt the weight of betrayal, yet tangled with something else, something I was not ready to name. I sat there in silence, my heart torn between anger and compassion. His betrayal was undeniable. Yet the pain in his voice revealed a truth deeper than selfishness. It was rooted in guilt, confusion, and a misguided sense of responsibility. I looked at the boy again, his innocent eyes wide and unknowing. He had no blame in this, and in that moment, I realized something powerful. Life is not always as perfect as we dream it to be. People make mistakes. Hearts break. Trust shatters, but the strength of a person is not measured by how deeply they fall. It is measured by how bravely they rise again. I chose to walk away. Not with hatred, but with dignity. I chose to rebuild my life. Not as a victim of betrayal, but as a survivor of it, and in doing so, I found peace within myself, because true love, real happiness, and lasting respect can never be built on secrets and lies. They are born only in truth, kindness, and the courage to face pain with grace. Moral of the story: no matter how heavy the betrayal, you are never defined by another's choices. You are defined by the strength of your own heart. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt tale. If it touched you, share it, leave a comment below, and remind someone today, you are never alone.